everyone, how are we today? Just doing our all signs reading today, celebrating the divine feminine energy for Mother's Day. Okay, so it is Mother's Day here in Australia, Sunday the 11th of May. I do believe it is Mother's Day elsewhere in the world as well. So we are really focusing on celebrating the divine feminine energy today, seeing what messages want to come out for you to help you embrace and balance that divine feminine energy within yourself. Okay, we do need, everyone does need a balance of feminine and masculine. The feminine balances and complements the more logical, action-orientated masculine energy. Okay, so feminine energy there, it is all about, I've got a bunch of keywords here to give you an idea of what the feminine energy is all about, and the things that we're embracing with feminine energy. We have intuition, receptivity, the flow, emotional, nurturing, vulnerability, grace, care, feminine energy that it follows the rhythms and the cycles of nature. We all know women have monthly cycles, and we do follow the moon and such with that as well. It is very circular cycle sort of thinking and energy. Faith, creativity, imagination, empathy, inspiration, communication, and it's all about connection. Okay, so seeing what that means for each and every one of you this week. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I do really appreciate that support. And I'm actually supporting the divine feminine energy myself today. I do have a brand new deck here. This is the Magical Beings Oracle deck. Okay, so this was actually through a beautiful feminine that anyone that sort of meets her does sort of experience that divine feminine energy immediately with Mystic Meg, one of the creators of this particular deck. So it does include the insights of 11 gifted psychics. So there's a video guidebook for this deck that does sort of have 11 different contributors to this particular deck, and it's an absolutely gorgeous deck. If you're here in Australia, I highly recommend it. She also has a mindful manifestation journal called Raise Your Vibration that I highly recommend as well. So I will put her website in the description box for this particular video as well. Definitely wanting to support all the beautiful feminine energies, in my local community. Mystic Meg is a beautiful psychic medium that, we do run into each other here and there throughout things. The shop that I work at, she actually had her card launch for these cards, which is where I did get those. And I was lucky enough to get a beautiful little handwritten note from Mystic Meg herself. But as you can see, they are a absolutely gorgeous deck. So we are going to be using those today to embrace that divine feminine energy. I do also have here the Sweet Blossom Lenormand as well. Okay, yes, my lighting has changed. The light actually blew, so I'm just rolling with this one and seeing how this one goes at the moment. It does seem to be a little bit different kind of lighting, so hopefully it's not too annoying for you all. I'm not sure whether I prefer this lighting or the previous sort of lighting, but we are running on this light bulb at the moment, so I may change that as we go if I do decide I want one that is a little bit brighter. Of course, as always, timestamps will be in the description box, so you're more than welcome to jump ahead to different placements within your charts, cross-watch other people's placements, so you can just sort of help out a friend or whatever, or you can just subscribe and forward the channel information onto a friend. I do really appreciate all of that support, guys. Okay, but starting us off today with our Aries. Okay, so all right, Aries. What does Aries need to know right now in regard to divine feminine energy? Balancing and supporting divine feminine energy within our Aries. Aries, divine feminine energy for Aries, please. Okay, Aries, you have the Enchanter's Apprentice coming through here. So the phrasing on the particular card, it does say, learn magic, trust the process, embrace your mystical journey, and discover wonders. So it does let us know that, you know, you are on the path at the moment, Aries. You are sort of being apprenticed to a bit of magic in your world, that you are sort of part of that journey is learning and being open to learning a lot more about your spiritual self. So in order to embrace your feminine energy at the moment, it really does talk about embracing the spiritual aspects of yourself, the magic of the world, and being a little bit more creative with exploring and learning more about that within your own self and what it means to you. For a lot of you there with that Enchanter's Apprentice, you know, that does sort of speak to finding a mentor, finding somebody who, you know, is aligned already with a spiritual lifestyle, you know, who can actually mentor you, teach you what you want to know about the spiritual stuff, you know, teach you how to, you know, whether it be read cards or learn a little bit more about, you know, crystals or whatever it is that you're drawn to there, Aries. Definitely seeing that, you know, you may actually find a mentorship you know, role really useful to you at this sort of stage. Okay, Aries, divine feminine energy for Aries. So Aries, pretty straightforward here, because this, you know, part of learning, part of this journey for you here, we are definitely seeing the journey is the central card that we've got for you there, the ship. So what we're moving away from is the materialistic. We're starting that with the fish there, then moving through into that ship energy. So we do see that this ship is sort of taking us away from the material world here with the fish, you know, money and the things that, you know, that have previously made us feel like we're wealthy and abundant in our life. You know, I feel for a lot of you here, Aries, it's that materialistic stuff that, you know, how much money I make, how much, you know, how much stuff I have, how grounded I am in the world, and you know, that whole keeping up with the Joneses kind of energy, having the, you know, certain brand clothes and all that sort of stuff. You're actually moving away from that energy. Part of your journey at the moment is to understand that true wealth and abundance within your own self here, Aries, is actually not in those material pursuits. You're actually moving towards relationships. Okay, we have the ring coming through there as well. So we see you moving towards connection. And relationships, and that's not just, you know, romantic relationships, that's all the relationships, and finding that you know, that fulfillment of self through connection to others, rather than connection to stuff. All right, so it's relatively straightforward for you there, Aries, with your divine feminine energy, wanting you to embrace connection rather than, you know, stuff. It's pretty, like I said, straightforward message for you there. A lot of you, that may definitely be coming through in the sense of a mentorship, somebody who is sort of showing you that connection is more valuable to you and your forwards movement than what the material stuff is. It's kind of that energy of money can't buy you happiness. It's you know, the who you know rather than what you know kind of energy coming through here for you, Aries. So you know, that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course, and we will move on over to Taurus. Okay, Taurus, embracing and connecting with divine feminine energy for Taurus. What does divine feminine energy need Taurus to know right now, please? Divine feminine energy for Taurus. Sacred altar. Creating a sacred space, honoring meaningful rituals, trusting deeply in spiritual practices, and nurturing your soul. Okay, so for some of you, this is just as simple as lighting a candle and acknowledging, you know, to yourself, to your space, that, you know, it's the intention basically, that when you light this candle, you're creating a ritual for yourself that is opening me up, opening my home up to a deeper spiritual experience of life, and opening myself up to understand myself and my life in a much deeper kind of a way, be more connected to these things on that deeper level, rather than getting very stuck in the masculine day-to-day sort of logical stuff and materialistic stuff. I do feel for a lot of you it is just quite as simple as just lighting a candle, and just setting that intention to have that awareness of the spiritual side of yourself, connection to something greater than what's going on for you in the general day-to-day of your life. Okay, but some of you may actually want to create an actual, space in your home specifically, to honor your spiritual self. So whether that be, starting a small collection of crystals, or, with a candle, or having idols, or something there, in place where you can actually, okay, every time I'm just going to go and light that candle, and look at these items, or touch these items, and enable myself to go into that sort of energy, where I am paying attention to that side of myself. Some of you may want to do that. I find, Taurus, I'm picking up that some of you, it may just be as simple as getting a yoga mat, and rolling that yoga mat out. Every day at whatever time it is, you roll that yoga mat out and you do a few yoga poses, and that's your sacred space. For some of you it may be music, or something like that as well. Taurus, how does Taurus connect to divine feminine energy? What does Taurus need to know in regard to divine feminine connection, please? Balancing the divine feminine energy for Taurus. Relatively clear here too. We have the lily coming through first. So the lily really does talk about a vulnerability, and changing things on the longer term. So rather than a short term energy, this is a much longer term energy. We do have that coming through with the dog. You guys have been getting this card a lot lately. So friendships around you are very, very important at the moment, and opening yourself up a little bit more, being very open and honest, and kinder, to the people that are loyal to you and that have understanding and compassion for you, making sure we are, of course, sharing our understanding and compassion, and loyalty with those people as well. But very strengthened by, friendships at the moment. We do have the ring coming through as well. So for some of you, this may actually be, the basis of friendship within other relationships as well. So, really, really working on that actual friendship between, lovers and family members, not just your friends, co-workers as well. Really focusing on how do I, find extra understanding and compassion for these people, create stronger relationships, and the answer is through the friendship stuff. The support for each other, and really embracing those sorts of qualities. We do see with the lily as well, this is a lot of emotional vulnerability. So, really opening yourself up to these people. So, if these are people that you want in your life long term, not being afraid to, let them know about who you truly are on the inside there, being a little bit more emotionally vulnerable with the people that you are creating these connections with. So definitely will help you in your process through connection to others at the moment. Okay, Taurus, so that's what we have for you. Relatively straightforward, but you are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, Gemini, divine feminine energy for Gemini. Embracing the divine feminine energy for Gemini. Archangel Zadkiel. Some gorgeous purple energy there. So purple may be important to you at the moment, Gemini, as well. releasing negativity, forgiving those who have wronged you, and letting divine love fill you with light and peace. So in order for you to embrace your femininity at the moment, the feminine energy balancing out the, the chaos that the masculine energy can produce within ourselves, it's to release and reduce that negativity from the chaos, from the the action. I have to do something about this, releasing that a little bit, and just focusing on forgiveness, for yourself, for other people, for things that there may have even been no one at fault, and understanding that there is a level of forgiveness that you do need to offer to the universe as well at the moment, Gemini. I feel like for some of you it's kind of like, I know that, that really hurt and I didn't like it, but, I forgive the universe for putting me through that, because I know that that was something that I needed to learn the hard way, kind of thing, so it's a little bit of recognition comes through with forgiveness as well, but also forgiving yourself, Gemini. Okay, balancing divine feminine energy for our Geminis. What does Gemini need to know in regard to divine feminine energy, please? Yeah, so firstly, we have the masculine energy. Okay, so in order to balance your feminine energy, you do really need to become more aware of where your energy is highly masculine. We do have the tower there alongside that as well, so that does show me that there's some issues around the way that you're isolating yourself. Very, very sort of masculine energy. I have to do everything all by myself is a very sort of masculine energy. We do see issues around authority as well with the masculine energy, which is it can produce chaos and war. When two authorities clash and whatnot. So the way that you control things and the way that you try to show authority over things, needing to sort of recognize that a little bit more within yourself, that you maybe are a little bit domineering of things sometimes, that I'm getting that, it's my way is the right way, my way is the only way kind of thing, because the tower is a very isolating energy, and it's kind of like, I'm tall, I'm strong, I'm right, basically. So you're needing to release a little bit of that energy in order to move back over into the feminine energy a little bit more here. Forgive the past as well. Forgive any feelings of isolation that the past has given you, where you feel like you've had no choice but to do it all by yourself and take control of everything all by yourself. Because the tower does also talk about your foundation. So for some of you, this is something that's coming through from childhood, the foundation that you've created within your own self, that you're just so used to doing things in a very isolated kind of a way, in a very domineering kind of a way, that it is a struggle for you to forgive the past and release that energy and try to be a little bit more nurturing rather than controlling, if that makes sense, rather going with the flow rather than trying to control every little facet there, which that will lead you to brand new opportunities. We do have the key coming through here as well, so I do feel as though definitely seeing a lot of new opportunities for success for you if you do balance the feminine and the masculine, because you do seem to be very heavily masculine energy right now, Gemini. So if you do successfully, balance that energy, you will have a lot of new opportunities coming up for you that are going to be very successful for you. But also, not isolating yourself from those opportunities, being very aware of those opportunities, and being a little bit more creative about and willing, I suppose, to just go with the flow and take those opportunities when they're offered. I do sort of feel as though for some of you, if we're not embracing the feminine energy and we're stuck in that masculine energy, sometimes we don't see the doors that open up for us, and we're not willing to walk through them because we're so busy trying to control everything. That's not that door doesn't look exactly how I expected it to look, so I'm not going to take that opportunity. I'm not going to walk through that door. But sometimes, when you walk through that door that looks just slightly different, you're just going with the flow, going, oh, well, that's the opportunity that's been given. That's the door that's been put there and opened for me. So I'm going to, I'm going to try it out, going with the flow there. And I'm just going to, I can always walk back and try a different door later. You are going to actually find it takes you to a lot of success in ways that you maybe didn't expect. So I do feel that coming through, and the opportunity to forgive coming through there. Once again, I do feel for a lot of you there is a specific opportunity to forgive someone, something, yourself, that will be presented to you very, very soon, and you're needing to sort of decide to walk through that door, that this opportunity to forgive someone for something or forgive yourself for something is actually much more meaningful than you may realize. So definitely really try to go with the flow of that, of offering forgiveness. Forgiving something or someone doesn't mean that you forget about it, okay, and learn from it. It's just forgiveness for a lot of the time is for our own peace of heart and mind, rather than, to actually make anyone else feel better about themselves. It's to make you feel better about yourself. Okay, but that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and we will move on over to our Cancers. Okay, Cancer, Divine Feminine energy for Cancer. Divine Feminine energy for Cancer. Embracing and balancing Divine Feminine for Cancer, please. The Crystal Wizard. What's his name? Dumbledore in his element, yeah? I love these cards. Some of them really do vibe with me in fun kind of ways, and that one definitely is a bit of a Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings type energy. Okay, harnessing the power of crystals, amplifying your energy with their vibrant frequencies. Pretty specific there, Cancer. I am actually feeling that, not only would it pay for you to, quite literally do as the card says and amplify your own powers through the use of things like crystals. I'm also getting mirrors and water coming through, as because crystal formation, it's quite interesting, because I am actually being shown like the like smaller molecule elements of crystal. So it's not really specifying what that means, but well, like for some of you, it could just be something quite simple as like, like some sort of supplement or something that has some sort of, because I'm not getting just crystal, I'm getting minerals as well coming through. And I am being told iron as well. So I understand, iron is a metal, so it is, not necessarily a crystal, but it's something to do with the, the natural formation of certain things like that. So those sorts of things may be really beneficial to you at the moment, Cancer, to help amplify your energy. Okay, so what we're actually focusing on for your Divine Feminine is that it's not that you don't have a really solid Divine Feminine energy, it's that you're not allowing it to speak to its full volume. Okay, so I feel like you are quite balanced within your divine masculine and feminine, but you're actually just not allowing the feminine aspects to speak up, and you're kind of falling back into masculine energy as a default, rather than allowing the feminine energy to just flow and be a stronger part of you. You need to sort of amplify that a little bit. It's like taking it to the next level kind of thing. Definitely getting, actual crystals may help you as well. like going and getting even just a, just a basic quartz crystal, and just carrying that around for a few days and just noting the difference within yourself, when you have a quartz crystal on your person. So, get a quartz crystal and keep it in pocket for a couple of days. Or, if you're like me, I've always got rocks down my bra. So rocks down your bra, in your pockets, in your bag or something, wherever it's suitable for you, on jewelry, all those sorts of things. It's going to help amplify your energy at the moment. Okay. I just feel like even if you don't believe in the power of crystals, Cancer, because and that's the other thing I'm getting here too, is that for some of you, you're very masculine energy, and you don't realize that there's a lot of masculine energy things that actually rely on the power of crystals, like watches, for example. A good, decent quality watch actually relies on quartz crystal to work properly. All right, so they even say it on the front of a lot of watches is the quartz. The quartz thing is written on the watches. So there's a lot of things that crystals can actually do, and has been scientifically proven, that a lot of people, and then you still get all these people that are like, crystals, the power of crystals, oh, that's just heebie-jeebie, like, but there's like scientific evidence backing this up. So it really confuses me sometimes why people are so quick to throw the knowledge out the window, kind of thing. So some of you, it's simple as wearing a watch, and wearing that as your crystal that you're carrying around. Okay, Cancer, divine feminine energy for Cancer, please. Yeah, just do it as a, just as a little practice. Very interesting too, because right before I drew those cards, I was hearing the word, this is the crystal wizard, but then I was hearing the word crystal as in a person, the name Crystal. Some of you definitely may have someone named Crystal around your energy, or meeting somebody soon with the name Crystal, as well, or even just Chris. We do have the feminine and then the rider. Okay, so I do feel as though there are a lot of you that will be receiving some sort of message from a feminine energy. So it's kind of like good news is on the way from the feminine energy, to help you deal with this fox energy, because the fox is a very masculine energy, in the sense that it's very logical and rational, very independent kind of energy. But the fox is very interesting because it can also be the shapeshifter, which it, in that sense, when it's a shapeshifter, it's a feminine energy. So it can easily shift from a masculine to a feminine energy. And I feel like that's why I'm picking up both so strongly within you. So maybe that's what's happening with you, Cancer, is, that's why the feminine's having trouble speaking up at the moment towards you, because you do get sort of stuck in the masculine, trying to be very logical and rational and clever and smart about things, the way that you're doing things and facing things, very independent in your energy. But remember that sometimes doing whatever you've got to do means you need to shift into your feminine energy, and that's the one that's going to get things done right now. And that you can, if you're embracing the power of this fox, you're also embracing the power to use whatever tools are at your disposal. So don't forget to use the feminine energy that is also at your disposal. And it's just telling me to go back through a couple of these keywords, because some of these are partly to do with the news that's on the way for you as well. Creativity coming through here, empathy, communication, the way that we're communicating, but more on a nurturing, receptive. So we're listening, we're active listening, and communicating from a going with the flow kind of energy. You know, we're following the rhythms of things. So we're definitely, you know, allowing things to progress rather than taking control. We're just trusting and you know, allowing things to flow how they will, okay? And listening in order to you know, do what is best for ourselves. Okay, so very interesting energy there. I do, once again, I am feeling that some of you, there is some sort of good news on the way from a feminine energy. Or your own feminine energy is trying to say, good news, you're taking care of yourself, and you've done whatever you've needed to do to get, you know, for you to survive here, Cancer. So now it's time to, you know, amplify all that energy so that we can move forward in a really positive kind of a way. All right, so that's what I have for you. I know that was a little bit of an ambiguous kind of message, but that's what we're getting there. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements. Keep an eye out as well, Cancer. You know, when we're seeing the flow and the cycles of life coming through for your message there, I am feeling drawn to remind you that we will have that shadow work reading for the full moon coming up in a couple of days. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. All right. So make sure you subscribe, and we will move on over to a Leo. Okay, Leo. Embracing and balancing your divine feminine energy. Leo, embracing and balancing the divine feminine for our Leos. Divine protector. There we go. This one's actually been coming up for me every time I've used this deck lately. And I really love this particular card because look at this giant figure here. You can see that this is, you know, is it a dragon? Is it a giant goat guy? Is it like supposed to be like a, you know, a big scary monster devil type guy? Is it a sweet nature animal? He looks a little bit like the flying animal out of I can't remember its name, but out of Neverending Story. You know, the big flying dog, I think it is. He kind of looks a little bit like him in the face. I really love this guy. But stay safe, feel secure, and trust in divine guardianship. Know that you are always protected. This is your divine protector wanting you to know that, you know, it's okay. You're safe to be open and emotional and vulnerable. You're totally safe to be that way because, you know, there's something greater than yourself looking out for you and protecting you to enable you to be the most vulnerable version of yourself when you do need to be, that it's totally safe for you to express yourself and express your emotions, and just trust and just go with the flow of those emotions a little bit more, Leo, that you are safe and secure in this world to do so. All right. I feel a lot of you try to hide from the emotions, and you know, I feel like something is going to happen if I show too much emotion. No, you have this divine protection on your side. Okay, Leo, divine feminine energy for our Leos. Divine feminine energy for Leo. This is exactly why we're seeing you needing to sort of open up and be a little bit more vulnerable with people, because, you know, some big phases have come to an end. We have the coffin here. Okay, some big phases have come to an end in your life recently, Leo, and you're kind of right in the midst of this big giant transformation within your own self, and learning more about yourself, and you know, closing off the part of yourself that feels the need to run and hide, and you know, burrow yourself away. We have the fox here. And the fox is a very sort of masculine energy in this particular sense. It can be it's a shapeshifter, so it can be both masculine and feminine. But I am feeling that it's kind of, that's what the transformation is to sort of ask you to move away from the masculine energy a little bit, because you are safe and you are nurtured, and you're already protected. You don't need to run and hide anymore. We all know foxes are very rarely seen, um, and they go and hide in their burrow and kind of thing, and they only come out at night and whatnot. But you're kind of going through this transformation where you're starting to understand that you don't have to be logical and rational and go and hide all the time, because to you that is like the logical rational thing to do, is to hide yourself away, and it's time for you to start doing what the right thing for what yourself needs, because ultimately the fox does whatever it does need to do to survive. That's why it's a shapeshifter, because it can adapt and suit any environment. And you're going through such a big transformation at the moment that you're shape shifting. You're learning how to come out of that intelligent, self-protective energy, where you can actually sort of start to be that little fox that's running through the field going yip, yip, doing the cute little fox noises and whatnot. And because foxes, they're a really awesome creature. They definitely can be perceived as a a hidden, sly, sneaky sort of creature, but they're also the cutest little yips and yaps and playful. They're so playful, and that's where you're transforming yourself at the moment to become the playful version of the fox, and shapeshift and transform yourself, knowing that that you are protected to do so, and you are protected to become the feminine energy of the fox rather than that masculine energy. We also see the birds coming out for you here, Leo. So I do feel as though this is, the more conversations that you're having about the transformations that you're going through, being open and vulnerable, and talking about it, that's actually really going to help, speed up your transformation, and make sure your transformation is moving in the right direction. You need to be sort of flitting around like a little bit of a social butterfly, chit-chatting to as many people as, you're comfortable with, obviously. You don't have to go and talk to everybody, but I feel like for a lot of you, this is kind of that, hours long phone calls into the night kind of energy, where you're having deep and meaningful conversations rather than just surface level conversations. Because you're going through such a big shape shift and transformation of self. You're starting to understand that you are more protected to be very open and vulnerable, and have those big, deep and meaningful conversations rather than just surface level chit chat. So I feel as though that's part of the transformation for you here as well, is to open up that deep and meaningful side of yourself, and trust that it will be heard. All right. So that's what we have for you today, Leo. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Virgo. Okay, Virgo, divine feminine energy for our Virgos. Embracing and balancing the divine feminine energy for Virgo. Archangel Raziel, the rainbow angel. This is my David Bowie angel. Check that out. Seeking wisdom in every experience, embracing the mystery of the unknown, and watch as divine secrets unfold all around you, Virgo. So it's seeing life's tapestry. There's not just black and white around you. It's every single color existing around you here, Virgo, and seeing the wisdom and the opportunity to learn and grow from every single thing that's happening around you and for you in your life. Embracing the fact that, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It could be, the total unknown factor. I could be prepared, and I'm getting a strong overthinker type energy for you, Virgo, but you're kind of realizing that, I could think about 20 different potential outcomes for what tomorrow is going to bring, and then, the outlier that I never could have thought of is going to be the one that happens anyway. So you're ready to embrace that, and sort of thinking on your feet very quickly at the moment, and that's really going to you know, going with the flow, basically, allowing yourself to go with the flow a little bit more and embracing the flow and understanding the flow a little bit more. That, you know, I just have faith that, you know, there's going to be something to learn, whether it's good or bad things happening tomorrow. At least I'll get to experience it and learn from it if it's bad, and you know, love it if it's great, you know. So Virgo, divine feminine energy for our Virgos. Just sort of making the most and enjoying life, even the bad stuff. Virgo, divine feminine for Virgo. Embracing the journey. All right, embracing the journey. Definitely there. We have the ship, so you're definitely embracing the journey here. We are also seeing the coffin coming through, followed by the mice. All right, so part of this journey that you're embracing is, you know, that I'm on the ship and I'm ready to go, so that I'm actually moving away from, you know, it's putting an end to the past, putting an end to the things that stress me out. There's no point for me to keep going around in circles with these things that stress me out, because that's just, you know, taking my energy. It's time for me to transform the way I'm looking at those things and start seeing the positives in those things, and embracing that those things are just part of the journey. And yeah, they might have stressed me out. Yeah, I might have feel as though I lost out on something in the past here, but you know, it's an opportunity for me to learn to, you know, if that ship is moving, and I know, you know, I've closed the door on the past, and I know I don't want to travel back to that. At least I know that which direction I'm going forwards. I'm not going back to that anymore. I choose to have a new beginning, a fresh beginning, and set sail and put some distance between myself and the past energies where it has just involved stress and loss and fear. I'm picking up a bit of fear from the past there as well, Virgo, that the past has taken from me, and just stressed me out, eaten away at my energy, and it's time for me to, you know, close the lid on that and really move forward, put some distance between that version of myself, and move forwards into, you know, this embracing this journey, and knowing that it's a chance for a brand new beginning within myself. Where anything is possible, the mysteries of the unknown, you know, are all at my feet here. Life can be any different color, and I'm ready to, you know, embrace that journey and travel through the rainbow, basically, is what I've got for you there, Virgo. So you are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Libra. Okay. Libra, embracing and balancing the divine feminine. Libra, embracing and balancing your divine feminine, Libra. Oh, okay. The divine oracle. Beautiful earthy energy there. Asking profound questions, seeking insightful answers, and trusting wholeheartedly in the divine guidance. Okay, so we're you know, trying to peel back the layers of knowledge and spiritual energy for you here, Libra. There's a lot of trust, I suppose, coming through for you when it comes to your spiritual self, and, you know, looking a little bit deeper, looking under the surface of, you know, reality, and what's being shown to you through reality and the material, starting to, you know, peel back those layers and look at, you know, the extra things to life. So definitely, you know, asking questions on a deeper level, you know, and seeking guidance and insight, on deeper things than, you know, just the standard kind of thing. So it's kind of the difference between asking for, oh, am I going to get a new job, but to asking, am I going to, you know, experience new challenges in work. You know, it's just that slight little difference for you here in the way that you're looking at things at the moment, and it's asking you to just go a layer deeper. So if you find yourself you know, wanting to questioning yourself, oh, should I go and get a new job? Don't just leave it at that. Sort of leave it as, go a little bit deeper and go, should I get a new job that gives me this certain experience or knowledge? So trying to connect a little bit deeper with the world around you at the moment, Libra. Really helping balance your divine, and be a little bit more, creative, thinking outside the box a little bit more. Divine feminine energy for Libra, and not being afraid to, ask for guidance and ask to be shown the way, and then trusting your intuition when you're doing so. Yeah, see, so we see the clouds coming through first, followed by the ship here. So we see you moving away a little bit here from, distancing yourself from the overthinking and the, the clouding your own judgment by getting stuck in logic and rationality, getting stuck in the masculine energy here. You're distancing yourself from logic a little bit here, and going a little bit deeper, making, breaking free from the clouds so that you're no longer confused, because you're only seeing, the material and the logical. You're breaking free from that and making some swift, sudden changes in the way that you're thinking and the way that you're looking at life in general, and moving more towards a heart space. We have the heart there on the bottom of the deck. So you really are, embracing challenges, from a loving perspective, and changing the way that you're looking at challenges, that you're breaking free from, looking at challenges as though, this is this big heavy challenge. But no, you're peeling that back a layer and saying to yourself, well, what can I learn from this challenge? Why am I being given this challenge? What's the purpose of this challenge? Rather than just going, this big challenge, it's horrible. You're cutting away those layers. You're going deeper. It just keeps giving me the same message of going deeper, and peeling back the layers of what you're sort of asking of yourself and for yourself at the moment, Libra. Really helping you, connect to the divine flow of the feminine energy at the moment, because you're consciously seeking to separate the masculine, logical, rational, I have to be in control, I have to do everything sort of energy, and you're seeking, the more trust and faithful kind of, trusting love will show the way, and that I will know where I'm going, and I will be able to, find deeper meaning to things that are happening around me and for me. So a bit of a ambiguous kind of message there, I know, but you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, the divine feminine energy for our Scorpios. Okay, embracing and balancing your divine feminine energy, Scorpio. Oh, Mystic Sage. Seeking truth, embracing wisdom, and letting spiritual insights guide your path to fulfillment. Okay, so Scorpio, we do see here that you seeker of the truth, and embracing knowledge and wisdom, and the lessons. You really, really, I feel like for a lot of you, you are, this Mystic Sage energy is a wise energy where, rather than looking back at things that have happened around us or in our life, as, that was horrible, this was bad, da, da, da. We're looking at the things that have happened in our life as, what can I learn from that experience, and why was I given that experience? Where did that take me? What can I learn from that? Really embracing the wisdom, even in the bad, even in the negative, fearful things around you or in your past here. You're seeking the full truth of those things, and when we're seeking the truth, we're not just seeking the truthful version of events for our own self. We're looking back at things in a much more objective perspective, where it's getting that phrase, you know there's three sides to every story. There's my side, your side, and then there's the truth in the middle. And that's what you're looking for now. You're not just looking at things through your own perspective. You're now sort of taking yourself back out of the situation a little bit, looking at it more objectively, taking into consideration, the other points of view for the other people around you in the situations, or, your higher self, as the you know the other person in the situation, so that we can come meet in the middle and find that truthfulness, that sits at the center of those, where it's not just everything through my perspective of this happened to me. It's more about this happened for me. You're seeking the truth of that, and finding that wisdom of the why this happened, why does that have to happen, why all that sort of energy there, being a little bit more objective, and seeing things from a more pulled back perspective, where you're taking other points into it to learn as much as you can from the full situation, not just your version of the situation. Divine feminine energy for Scorpio. So really, I feel like for a lot of you, the feminine energy really wanting you to seek understanding and compassion and empathy for other people's perspectives at the moment, and seeing, other people's perspectives of what has happened. I keep getting this reference that this is specifically to do with things or conversations, or, things that have happened in the past. So you're going back and sort of looking over things that have happened, relatively recently, maybe within the last 6 months to a year. Some of you maybe even a little bit longer, but it's all part of that process of gaining the wisdom of okay, so that person perceived that I did this or said this, and I perceived that they said this or did this, but then in the middle, it's actually both sides have a role to play here. It's not just everything that your one perspective. You're now taking other perspective into your perspective, a more worldview of things that have happened for you here, Scorpio. What can I learn from this? What wisdom can I gain to avoid this in the future, kind of thing. Scorpio, divine feminine energy for our Scorpio. So it really does seem to be, understanding and compassion for other people's perspectives coming through very strongly at the moment. Yeah, so we definitely see the feminine energy here with the moon coming through for you. So you're really being guided to do this, and trusting your intuition a lot more. You're really seeing, the emotions that came into play, as well as the logic that came into play. You're actually looking at this from a very balanced kind of viewpoint. So not only are you seeing a feminine and a masculine viewpoint, whether that be, two people in a situation, and both those perspectives, but you're seeing that just even within your own self. You're seeing the emotions that we were very wrapped up in, but then we're seeing the logical assumptions that were made and things like that, and we're using both of those to allow us to understand and show empathy for both sides of that. Both the logical, rational side does deserve compassion and empathy, as well as the emotional aspects deserving a lot of empathy and nurturing as well. So you just sort of balancing the energies quite well there, I feel, Scorpio. So you are showing yourself a lot of growth. Okay, we have the tree here. A lot of healing and growth is coming through for you at this stage, because of the fact that you're looking for the truth, and you're looking for the wisdom and the lessons to be learned, rather than getting stuck in just the emotion or just the logical view of things. You're finding the wisdom in seeing both sides of that story, both the masculine and the feminine energies of the situations that have occurred for you and around you, and in the past here as well. So a lot of healing coming through for you here. I do feel for a lot of you, a lot of the healing that you've been going through is subconscious, that you may not even be aware of some of this that's going on for you. This is all sort of happening behind the scenes, but it's time for you to sort of stop and give yourself like a pat on the back as well, Scorpio, for how far you have already grown and learned and changed and healed, and the way that you are looking at things much more maturely now than you may have in the past as well. All right, and you are definitely on the right path for fulfillment for yourself. You know, you see here your back is turned to the past now. The wisdom that and the healing that you're going through is enabling you to turn your back on the past and keep focused forward from here on out. With the moon card coming out for you as well, you may really want to keep an eye out for the full moon shadow work reading coming out in a few days as well, Scorpio. Definitely might be some stuff in there for you to sort of ease that transitional healing process. But that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move over to our Saggies. Okay, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, divine feminine energy for Sagittarius. Embracing and balancing the divine feminine energy for our Sagittarians. The Enchanter. Magic is in the air, Sagittarius. That one really does speak to me of, you know, being surrounded by magic, being magic at the moment here. It does say, oh, create magic is the first thing that card says. Create magic, follow intuition, let enchantment guide your actions, and manifesting your dreams. So, you know, the magic really is within you at the moment, Sagittarius, and trust yourself to follow that and allow yourself to see that and look around your life and go, oh, wow, this is amazing, and understand that's part of the magic for you, that this adventure is there's something around your energy at the moment that it's kind of this energy of like, if you told other people about it, they wouldn't even believe you because it sounds so like magical and you know, like unbelievable kind of thing. But you're creating this magic for yourself, and it's kind of this thing of like, if you follow your intuition and you believe in that within your own self, that you can make anything happen for yourself. It's the energy of, you know what, no matter how unrealistic that might seem to others, I'm going to go for it anyway. And then, you know, your energy at the moment is enabling that to happen. So definite manifestation energy there as well, backing your actions up. So make sure you are trusting yourself and going with the flow of yourself at the moment. I feel as though you are in a very naturally feminine energy at the moment, to be honest. The most feminine energy I've picked up on so far out of all the signs. You know, so there may be a moment, I do just feel for some of you here in the next month, there may be actually a moment where we're having to go the other way, where we're having to you know, focus back in on masculine energy a little bit and just sort of, you know, come back down to earth a little bit, because you are in a highly feminine energy right now by the feel of that. So you may sort of need to, you know, there's something, I just feel like something might happen in order to pull you back to earth in a sense here and ground you in reality again, and kind of, you know, something mundane and boring and rational and logical needing to be taken care of, just so that you can sort of maintain that balance. And rather than being fully feminine energy, we do need a balance. They complement each other. Okay, so I just feel that for some of you, you may actually need to pull that back a little bit, and there might be some grounding back into the masculine for you this month. Okay, but we'll have a look with the lenormand as well. Sagittarius, it's kind of like you know, you're being taken off with the fairies. The magic is real for you at the moment, which, you know, it's fantastic to be in that energy, you know, because but a lot of the time with the feminine versus the masculine, it's energy versus reality, you know, and you do need to still remember that reality exists, because especially, you know, doing some of the mundane stuff, like if you're driving your car down the freeway, you do kind of need to be aware of reality, you know, so that you're not just flying off into the traffic and you know, we're stuck here in our physical bodies, so you do need to pay attention to that as well as the energy. I'm just sort of getting this sensation of you kind of floating away a little bit at the moment, Sagittarius, and as good as that is, you do need to have that grounded in the physical energy as well. just for, safety. Um, Sagittarius, they both have their role to play. If it was up to me, we all live in energy 24/7, but that's not the way the world currently works, is it? This is actually, part of the magic that's been created for you at the moment. Firstly, we have the lily, which does talk about emotional sensitivities, things that have been, emotional sore spots and vulnerabilities in your life, kind of long term, and really thinking about, the version of yourself that you want to be 10, 20, 30 years from now as well. On an emotional level, this is highly charged feminine energy. Once again, very feminine energy here, and your emotions really are pushing this at the moment. You have a lot of emotions going on. And very deep emotions too. So just be aware that they may be overwhelming at times as well. We do have the coffin coming through here. So I will come back to that. The next energy we have is the moon, which does talk once again about emotions. Okay, so we do see, both of the emotions cards on either side of this coffin energy. And the coffin really does talk about a transformation, okay, an ending that is bringing around a new beginning. It's a death and a rebirth. So it's a way that we're closing the door on the way that we've perceived our emotional self, and we're moving into a new version of our emotional self. You're trusting. There's a lot of trust and intuition coming through here with the moon, and it's all about the version of myself like that I want to be 20 years from now. This particular emotion that I'm feeling right now, do I want to be stuck in this emotion 20 years from now? And do I want to still have that certain trigger, triggering me 20 or 30 years from now? And you're kind of saying to yourself, well, no, it's time for me to transform these emotions. It's time for me to, use that magic, manifest that change in these emotions, so that I'm able to understand and be compassionate towards myself, and I'm able to, you know, put that rational thought onto those emotions and understand that I don't have to hold on to them in a negative kind of a way. I'm able to use them to push me forward even more, and I can transform the way that I'm looking at emotion in order to continue to grow and heal and move forward within my own self. So for a lot of you here, the manifesting your dreams element is that you're manifesting a new emotional way of being. So the things that have triggered you and held you back in the past, you're not allowing those to trigger you or hold you back anymore. You're not getting stuck in emotions. You're more able to process emotion and move through them and understand there's a reason that those emotions are occurring, and so it's a brand new beginning for you, a total rebirth here in the way that you are connecting to your own emotional self. So it is actually a big transformative time for you here at the moment, and but ultimately it's magic. It's magic for you. It's going to create a lot of positive energy for you in the future as well. So very strong positive feminine energy there, definitely moving forward in a very strong feminine way. I really enjoy that for you. Keep thinking outside the box, Sagittarius. You've got this. All right. So that's what we have for you. More than welcome to check out your other placements, of course, and we will move on over to Capricorn. I do feel the need to let you know as well, since we had the moon card coming up for you, Sagittarius. We do have the shadow work full moon reading coming up in a couple of days, so definitely keep an eye out for that as well. All right, so moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn, divine feminine energy for our Capricorns. Embracing and balancing the divine feminine energy for Capricorn, please. Ooh, the spellcaster. I love that for you, Capricorn. It's quite interesting because I don't know whether you can see this in this particular card, but it is a figure here with a wand wearing a a long flowy dress. But see right here at the bottom of her dress, it actually looks like a face emerging from the bottom of this person. So it's kind of like the feminine energy is kind of like riding this big masculine beastie is, I keep picking that up off this card. It is a very earth energy here with all the green and healing, but it does say invoking power, manifesting dreams, and trusting in your magic, embracing the limitless potential within. And I am getting a strong message here that part of that potential within is this beastie, Capricorn. This is a strong message I always get with shadow work messages as well. So keep an eye out for the shadow work reading in a couple of days, Capricorn, for the full moon, because it's all about, embracing the beast within as well as the light within. We're surrounded by light. We've got the magic wand here. We've got the sparks flying and the hair, being thrown back. But there's this, I know that that's not even what it's supposed to be, but I keep getting this imagery of, this big beast trying to break free, and you're here at the top controlling that and using that to your advantage. You're riding this beast rather than, allowing this beast to turn around and attack you. You're riding this beast off into the sunset, and you're using that as a tool to help you progress further and faster. And that's part of this power within you, Capricorn, that you're embracing, the darker parts of yourself and using those to empower you and move you forward at a much higher level, I suppose. Manifesting your dreams, trusting in the magic of yourself, invoking the power and embracing the limitless potential within yourself. So Capricorn, some strong energy here. All right, so I do definitely want to check in with the Lenormand and see where that's taking you here, Capricorn. Capricorn, because it's really a shadow work kind of message for you. It's really telling you to embrace, all those parts of yourself that you think are negative, the things about yourself that you don't like. Find a way to use those things to empower you to be bigger, better, faster, whatever that means to you, Capricorn. There's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And you definitely have the will, okay? Divine feminine energy for Capricorn. It's also like that beast within a lot of you is the masculine energy as well, the logic, the rational, the structured way of thinking, and that's what you're using to empower you in a free feminine way. So you're really complementing both sides of yourself, the dark and the light, the masculine and the feminine. It's a lot of yin and yang coming through here. Divine feminine energy for Capricorn, please. Sorry for not stopping with the talking, Capricorn. It's just sometimes when I channel, it just comes out like crazy. Look at that. You're literally riding the masculine energy here. Okay. So firstly, we have the birds coming through here. And we have the rider and then the masculine. Okay. So you're definitely, look, there's that figure, the feminine figure up on the horse, and that horse is this masculine energy. The feminine is using the masculine energy to propel you further, and that's kind of the good news on the way, is that you're able to control the masculine energy within yourself in a very strong, powerful way here, Capricorn. We're doing this through the birds, which is, there's a few essences coming through here. We've got, wisdom is definitely coming through. And that's, once again, that effect of the masculine coming through a little bit there, where you're embracing logical and rational thinking. You're embracing knowledge as one of your powers here, Capricorn. You're embracing communication as power, conversation, and clearly, it's kind of, I am strongly getting that you're clearly communicating what you need and desire, and you're thinking outside the box of how to communicate clearly, things like that. I'm getting drawn to have a look at the keywords again. There's a couple that want to come through. It's grace is coming through, and receptive energy, receptive listening. So you're the birds are going to do that as well. They're listening for other bird calls, and then before they call out in answer to reply and attract that other bird, they're patiently sitting there and listening and waiting until they hear the call that then they answer. And you also very strongly the cycles coming through here, following the cycles of life and nature. So, the tides and the moon controlling the tides and the cycles of nature. So you've got the 4 seasons that, things need to go through a dormancy period, like winter, winter, for example, is that dormancy period where things are very cold and harsh. But then, slowly the ice melts and we allow spring to come through. And then, we've got the full heat of summer, the passion, the desire comes through, and the warmth of something comes through. And then we go into autumn where, we slowly start to shift and change and enter back into that dormancy phase where we allow ourselves to sort of catch back up with all the energy that we've expended through summer. So, the cycles seeming to be very important here, Capricorn, as part of this. That, I feel like for a lot of you, this is you sort of coming out of dormancy. For a lot of you here, you've been this beastie has been caged for a little while, but now that you've got full control of that, you're about to start getting back up on that horse and racing out into the sunset there, taming the masculine and the feminine, or taming the masculine through your feminine energy, and having conversations with people that this is like deeper conversations. For some of you, this is like, I'm getting like being your own therapist coming through here as well. And the magic is all within you. You have the power within yourself, Capricorn. That embracing your potential, You have the potential of whatever you want here, Capricorn. I do feel like there's something else wanting to be said here. What divine feminine energy for Capricorn? What else does Capricorn need to know right now, please? Divine feminine energy for Capricorn. What's the end of new opportunities for healing and growth? I feel like just in general here, Capricorn, with the tree here, that you have grown exponentially already, and that this in itself is a finally breaking free from the dormancy period and realizing how far you have come and grown and healed. But we do see a lot of new opportunities and success, ripe for the taking, kind of thing. So, we see we're getting ready to move back around to, through spring, summer, and then autumn before we go back into dormancy again. Dormancy is where, we allow all this energy to just catch up with this kind of thing before we sort of break free and use it to power us. So you're about to come into this big power period where, bang, 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 all these doors start opening up for you and you find a lot more success than you realize. And it's all about the way that you're, embracing the beast within, embracing the power within, and using it to push you, propel you further, Capricorn. Don't be afraid of the darkness. It's one of your greatest powers. All those things that people think are negative about you, that you think are negative about you, especially I'm getting especially the things that would be associated with masculinity. So the things that would be associated with, oh, you're too smart, Capricorn, you're too intelligent for your own good, you're too reserved, you're too focused on money. Those things are actually this beastie power within you. All right, so don't be afraid to use them to propel you forward. That they're really strong energies for you there, Capricorn. All right, so that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and we will move on over to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, embracing and balancing your divine feminine energy. Aquarius, embracing and balancing the divine feminine. The witching hour. Pardon me. Embrace the magic. Trust your intuition to lead you. Let your inner self guide you with your ancient wisdom. the witching hour. So it's like, I do feel like you can kind of see the image there of the full moon and the witching hour. They do sort of say, wouldn't it be? It's midnight, I believe, midnight or 3 a.m. or the middle of the night, right? So I feel like this is talking about trusting those thoughts that come to you as you're falling off to sleep in the middle of the night. You wake up in the middle of the night when you've got some random, I've got this new idea for this company, or what I need to do at work, or what I need to do, what I need to say to somebody. Trusting that a little bit more. Trusting the things that come to you in dreams as well, Aquarius, that you do have a lot of magic coming through to you at nighttime, basically. It feels like it's a pretty straightforward message there. Allowing that to lead you and trusting your inner self to, that deep down you have the wisdom and the knowledge to know that these are the decisions that hold the most weight for you at the moment. I am picking up strongly here on somebody like you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, you've dreamt of some sort of invention, and you wake up and it's like, oh, I just dreamed it. I don't know that that's actually a good invention, but like trusting that a little bit more. I don't know why I'm getting an invention specifically, but maybe it's an invention could be like a recipe, or a conversation that you need to have with somebody, or a way to phrase something to somebody. Whatever that is, in the middle of the night, trust it, Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, embracing your divine feminine energy for Aquarius, please. Firstly, we have the book. So definitely trusting that inner wisdom, that you're smarter than you think you are. Give yourself some extra credit, Aquarius. You're very intelligent, and this is an intelligent thought, even if you're half asleep. It's still coming from a basis of wisdom, and in some ways, you're more open to your inner wisdom when your brain's closed off, if that makes sense. It lets you know that it's true wisdom. It's not just trying to overthink everything wisdom, where you're trying to be very logical and rational. True wisdom sometimes is when our brain is shutting down for the night. That's when true inspiration hits, because it's coming from a much more creative part of ourselves, a much more spiritual, trusting part of ourselves. So really trusting yourself a little bit more, being a better friend to yourself as well, Aquarius. We have the dog there. So learning how to be a bit of a better friend to yourself, learning how to, be loyal to what you really want, and supportive of your own goals. I'm just getting, being more supportive of oneself, being a better friend to oneself, that, if there's nobody else in this life, that you can trust to be your best friend, you know that you can be your best friend. Okay, so and I'm hearing here for some of you, it's like needing to train yourself the way that you would train a pet. That we have to teach a pet, to not feel anxiety when we leave them at home, in the yard or whatever. We have to train a dog. When I give this command, this is how we react. So there's something that you're maybe needing to train yourself on how to react differently to something. So that there is some sort of education, but it's more about training yourself to be supportive. So maybe it's more along the lines of how you would train like a service animal. Training them to be supportive and to notice the small signs about, or your body's giving you a certain sign. That means this is about to happen, that kind of thing. So listening to your body a little bit more, and training yourself to support yourself in a new kind of a way, that, oh, I'm starting to notice that every time I start thinking about this, I get an anxiety attack, or whatever it is for you. And, well, every time I start thinking about that, well, then I need to go and do XYZ to avoid getting to the anxiety. I need to start preventing the anxiety, and I'm noticing that when my body starts doing this, that's leading up to this. I do feel for some of you that there's something about that coming through here. And we also have the child. All right, so part of being a better friend to yourself is having fun, embracing your inner child as well. Be that child that plays with dogs in the park and throws the frisbee and the dog catches it, and just runs around and falls over in the grass and rolls around and plays with the puppies. A lot of us, we forget to do things like that as adults, and we get so focused on, I'm an adult, I have to be adulting all the time, I'm responsible, boring, whatever. We forget to just have fun with life sometimes and just enjoy the adventure. I'm also hearing for somebody needing to go on a hike. I don't know why that's relevant, but for somebody that's part of your inner childhood is, going hiking may actually really help you, be more supportive of yourself and clear your mind, so to speak, which enables you to actually listen in the middle of the night when you're getting those random messages, and listening and trusting those, if you're allowing yourself to be free, and like a child. A child would wake up in the middle, because you can kind of imagine, right? If a child has a nightmare, they wake up in the middle of the night worried that it's real, and legitimately worried that it's real. Whereas when we're adults, we can have the exact same dream. We understand it's a nightmare. We wake up in the middle of the night, but we go, oh, it was just a dream. It's not real. The dream. I'm just, as a random example here, the nightmare is that there's a clown underneath the bed. All right, it's very common to have a monster underneath the bed, right? The child will wake up and be absolutely like howling. There's a clown under my bed. There's a clown under my bed. We have to check and make sure there's no clown under the bed. Whereas as an adult, you know that that's ridiculous. There's not a clown laying under your bed. And I kind of feel the need here, Aquarius, to add on. And we kind of go, well, and if there is a clown, if they're bothered to get in their full clown makeup and then find their way underneath my bed, let them take me, whatever. I'm kind of getting that from some of you there as well. You're like, better the monster, better the monster under the bed than the whatever the other monster is. But trusting a little bit more. The child is trusting that was real. You're needing to trust that your dreams are real, because I feel there's something big coming through to you in your dreams, and you're just not giving it. You're not giving it credence. You're not giving it power, whereas it actually does have a lot of power for you, Aquarius. So pay attention. Pay attention. All right. So that's what I have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Pisces, embracing and balancing your divine feminine. Divine feminine for our Pisces, embracing and balancing. Ooh, the Warlock. That's a cool card. Ooh, I like this energy. Ooh, you're like ice baby. Anyway, it's a nice energy. I'm actually quite so happy that you're the last sign I'm doing today, Pisces, and I have actually randomly managed to draw a different oracle for each and every sign today, which I'm very, very happy about, because I got to show off more of this beautiful deck than if I had doubles showing up today. As I mentioned in the intro, this is that special oracle deck through a local psychic medium, Mystic Meg. I'll show you again here, the Magical Beings Oracle deck. Okay, so we had the launch of this at the store that I do readings just last week, and she signed it for me and everything, and it's a beautiful deck. I highly recommend her manifestation journal as well. It's amazing. So if you're in Australia, I'm not sure if she posts overseas, but I will have the website for Mystic Meg, who is one of 11 collaborators on this particular deck. But she's got some great products on that site. So I'll make sure I've got that in the description box so you can have a look. But the Warlock, Pisces. Use your inner power, be bold, trust your magic, and let your light shine brightly. And I'm getting ice baby coming through strong there as well. It's turning the, you have the power to melt the ice around yourself and create the ice, cast the ice around yourself when you need to. You have this you're a water sign, Pisces, obviously. You have this, I keep getting this ice power that you can be ice cold when you need to be, but when you need to, you can melt that ice. You've got the power over the water, and you can, when we think about water signs, people only think about, all the waves crashing on the beach, the water flowing. No, water is a lot more than just, liquid. Water is great. It's a gas as well as a solid. So I am seeing that you're able to actually embrace all forms of gas, liquid, and solid of the water energy. So it's using all that power within you, that you've got more power than you realize, and you can use those powers in ways that you don't even know. So really embracing your divine feminine at the moment with creativity, thinking outside the box, and just allowing that to flow within you, and trusting your intuition to know when you need to be ice cold, as to when you need to evaporate like mist and disappear, and when you need to flow gently around others, and when you need to crash down like a wave, like a tsunami on people. You're embracing that, and your intuition is trying to sort of guide you as to how to use that. So trusting that a little bit more. You have a lot more intuition power than you may even realize, Pisces. You are a very intuitive sign just already, but I just feel as though there's some extra layers to that you may not be aware of, and for some reason it's telling me that understanding that water is more than just a liquid. Water is ice. Water is mist as well, and remembering that for yourself, and remembering that your power, you may think your power is X, but it's also Y and Z. All right, you've got all these other forms of the same thing that you may not even realize. So sometimes you just need to allow your intuition to take the reins, and allow that to just express itself how it needs to. Divine feminine energy for our Pisces, and not letting your light dim as well. Keep on shining, Pisces. You've got so much power within. Don't ever hide that. Don't dull that on yourself. We see here the crossroads followed by the tower. It is coming through as a relatively straightforward message here with your divine feminine, that it's time to make a choice. It's time to choose to come down out of the tower, Pisces, and to, the tower does talk about isolation quite a lot, quite heavily. So however, think about, because I feel like the need to say, how are you isolating yourself, Pisces? Are you physically isolating yourself from others? Because I do know some Pisces who are probably will be the first to admit that yes, they are physically isolating themselves from others. They're not reaching out to friends. They're hiding themselves away, trapped in the tower of their own mind, kind of thing. And do you know what, Rapunzel? It's time to let down your hair. But for others of you, this is isolation in another kind of way, that you because I am actually being referenced to my other Pisces friend here, who her tower around herself is humor. Okay, so sometimes it's very difficult for her to you know, let that hair down to let other people in, and deflects deeper connection with some others through the use of humor and lightheartedness and being sarcastic about everything. It's like a shield that she's put up around herself, and I love her. She's amazing, but it's making a conscious choice here to come out of that isolation and stop putting yourself up in this tower and start integrating a little bit more with others around you, whether that be on a physical, hanging out with friends more, getting out of the house more, or whether that be actually letting letting the walls down, letting your defenses down a little bit, and letting people in just a little bit more. You don't have to, tell people, it's not trauma dumping on anyone or anything like that. It's just letting people see a little bit more about your softer side, the feminine. We're looking at the feminine today, so it's about letting people see a little bit more of that softer side of yourself that that you probably deflect from showing quite a lot here, Pisces. Melting the ice a little bit around your heart and letting people in a little bit more. It's part of the journey for you here, Pisces. It's time to, put some distance between this crossroads and the tower. Put some distance and get out back out on the ocean and start traveling again. Start moving again. Start moving forward for yourself here, because it's all about embracing that power within yourself. And that warlock, if he's up in the tower, who can see? Who's going to see that light shining, other than the random ship that's going past, and if they're up in this tower's not a lighthouse. This is just a tower. If you want to be a lighthouse, you need to get out on the sea a little bit more. So you need to put some distance between yourself and the barriers that you've created around yourself, Pisces. Allow people in a little bit more, and or share yourself a little bit more with others on a heart space kind of level. Melt the ice around your heart a little bit, Pisces. It's okay. You're very safe and protected. You've got this beautiful light within you, and these people around you that love you, they love that about you, and they want to be in that light with you, and they want to share that light with you. And if you're locked away up in this tower, no one can see it. All right, and if no one can see it, do you know what? Neither can you. So it's time to start a new journey within your own self here, Pisces, and it's a conscious choice though. Free will still exists in this journey, but once we start that journey, all your ships come in. This is that pirate ship full of treasure. So you can't go on that pirate ship adventure if you don't get out of the tower in the first place. Yeah. All right, so that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements. Make sure you do keep an eye out for the full moon shadow work reading in a couple of days. And I will see you all again soon.